You say you wish to know of the trolls that haunt the forest and windswept hills of this vacant country, and that is why you come to the tomb of the dead. Well, there was a time when I still drew breath as you do now, and in that time I heard tales when I sought knowledge of forbidden lore. But before I get into the most esoteric of troll lore, I shall give you the beginning. Yes, what you see out there in the wood are gawking, rubbery-skinned, green-black blotched giants towering higher than any man, with ropey, ungainly arms and a strange gait in the way in which they walk, and a hideous smell, with sunken eyes deep in their head, so distorted that some think they are like myself, undead. They are not. But their black talons will rip the flesh from a man, and they will sit there and eat it, cracking the bones when they're done, and devouring the marrow inside for their enjoyment. Trolls come of a sexual maturity at about 18 years of age. The females secrete a horrendous musk that is most attractive to the males, who begin to excrete such similar chemicals amongst the carved and gnarled trees of their home area. The budding tips on the end of their head, which some think are hairs, are actually a sort of sexual receptive organ used in the mating rituals and the ability to find and track down a mate over long stretches of land, for often trolls live few and far apart, at least in lands that are lucky enough to not be scourged barren of all but the undead, such as this windswept land in which you live, where all animals and men who come within are subject to be eaten by trolls, for trolls can go ages without food. You can hack a troll into pieces, and the pieces can slowly come back together. Even cutting a troll's head off, it is often known, can result in another troll, or even two. Split one down the center, you may have two trolls. But if you cut the limbs off, sometimes they won't grow back. Sometimes they will. The internal organs of trolls are most interesting in the way in which they quickly replicate and create more and more of this beast. They are creatures that are utterly in love with life. Their ability is most tremendous, and I can tell you, as a wizard of no small renown, that their blood is often the most cheaply acquired ingredients for healing potions of all varieties. Yes, that blue vial at your waist now, Venturer, that has troll blood in it. See the bubble here and here? Yes, that is from troll blood. Oh, I know it well. And it can be mined for many other properties still, and as can their flesh and their bone, not to mention the small receptors on the top of their heads, and their eyes. We can do wondrous things with their eyes. Oh yes, I could tell you a long list of magical devices and components that we can harvest from trolls, as we call them. However, you must be wary of their bite and their claws, for they are even more ferocious than the loping things you would believe they such would be, and they rip and they tear with utter ferocity, for they are afraid of nothing save fire, and the fire will burn them. Use fire, use acid if you have the knowledge of alchemy or the strength of spell in your arsenal. But anyone can use a torch. Even the most common of simpletons may employ such a method and use it against the trolls as they lope towards them over and over again, terrorizing and ripping through the barns. But the thing you need to really know, as I have told you, trolls come sexually mature at 18. But at 18 they are not adults. They are not adults at 100. 200 or 300. No, they are not adults until they are nearly 1,000 years old. Yes, you didn't know. Trolls never die, ever, unless they are killed, for they have the ability to restitch themselves with their very blood pouring and their organs spilling out. A creature that is so tenaciously driven to cling towards life. Well, they will not be denied by simple cause. They are not subject to disease the way a man is. Although there are some horrendous, boiling blue poxes that may infest a troll community, usually just leaving their things sterile or blind, but never dead. And I say this to say an 800-year-old troll is much different than the 20-year one, wallowing around there like a blithering imbecile. And the reason it is a blithering imbecile is because, while sexually mature, it is a baby. They're killing babies. Yes. But the ones that are 800 are much different. The ones that are 8,000 are different still. And the ones that are 80,000 years old, well, those are a different story entirely. You see, the world existed long before men, long before dragons even. There were trolls. And a few of those trolls are still around today, thousands upon thousands of years later, with minds and intellects vastly beyond the comprehension of others. In fact, my mentor was an ancient troll, the last mentor I had, the one that did this to me, that left me pushing up daisies. He was a troll, named Naugus Crocus, the one who stands between worlds. It says that he is the one himself who invented necromancy and erected a pillar to such things deep in the heart of the world. You see, trolls never die. And as stupid and gainly and ugly and repugnant as they seem, and they are all that and more, they never die. And slowly, slowly they learn. It may take them 100 years to learn the simplest of things, but they don't forget it once they've learned it, and they keep learning, and they keep growing. That is why you do not see the old ones. The elders know when to be seen, and when they do not wish to be seen. And some have layers complicated beyond your understanding. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, then perhaps I shall point you to the direction in the heart of the forest where even the wind itself stands still, and you can utter the name Naugus Crocus. He enjoys sacrifice. Take yourself there and see, when the wind stands still, what comes to greet you. Look upon it and see if in its shrunken eyes and the back of its head there is not spark of utter genius, for it has not died, and it will not die. Much like the trolls today that do not die, they will live on and on and on. Slowly, slowly they gain, slowly they learn, slowly their minds form to that of man-like intelligence, and slower still to levels beyond.